Hello, hello. Welcome to My Wife's Unavailable. I'm your host and trusty life coach, Chelsea B. And we have a special episode today. I'm calling it either Life's Gifts or Life is Gift. I guess we won't know until I actually launch it, what I decide. But on this podcast, I also wanted to take a quick mention and say that I haven't really talked about what this podcast is about and what my goal is, I guess, for each episode. So I just want to say, especially in light of recent things I've been getting into, I decided that this is a place where we gather on a endless quest for meaning and self-exploration with an open mind and open heart through the concept of personal development, since that is my my passion in the life coaching world. And as my tagline says, amongst those that are brave enough to be curious. Curious to be, arrive at whatever checkpoints in our lives and the checkpoints in this conversation with a sense of purpose. So, my guest on the quest today is none other than my sister, Farah. Say hello,
Hello.
Farah.
I feel like I was just on the podcast not too long ago.
You were very recently.
Yeah, just a couple episodes ago, I feel like. If you're new here, definitely go back to that episode because I dropped a big hint at the end, at the very, very
She
end.
did.
If you stay the whole hour, you're a true fan. But I don't know, should I tell this episode what that bomb is or just tell people to listen to the other?
Yeah, I think they need to go listen. I think that's like a prerequisite.
Yeah,
if you want to be
definitely.
in the know, you got to listen to that.
For sure. If you want to be in the know on what is going on in my life, go ahead and listen to that one.
Yeah.
Plus, that was a really fun episode because it was Damar's first time being on the podcast, my husband. And he's been waiting ever so patiently to be a guest on the podcast. And he finally was. And I thought he did a really good job. I feel like even Emma was liking some of the advice and stuff that he had said. And so it was nice for people to hear his point of view on things.
Yeah, no, it was really good. He did great. And yeah, also loved the advice that he gave. So yeah, if you haven't heard, go back and give a listen. It was funny because I had some listeners I'm not going to call out on this episode, but they were like, okay, this episode's called Meet Damar and it's been like 20 minutes and Farah's the only one talking. And you remember when we were recording and you kept having things to say and we were like cracking up like on the backstage because you guys were like fighting over who got to talk.
Yeah.
Because
it was, because I know, I mean, for those who know Damar, he, yes, has a lot of knowledge and advice and all of that, but he's pretty like short and sweet and to the point. And so sometimes I'm like, well, let me go a little bit deeper.
There's more to that story.
Yeah, there's more to that story, or there's more like, to this. But I think that is why we worked well together. We tend to balance each other out. Oh, and there's a cameo.
Hi.
You may hear a cameo of a little boy on this episode.
See, and this is why I need to get my video up with
the video podcast.
Yeah, the video portion.
Because he would have just been like, "Hey,
yeah, what's up, Tay Tay? Hi." He's so funny.
And he's looking at the phone. Cool.
Yeah. And speaking of that, shout out to that last episode. I think it was 2 episodes ago. I had some other feedback that, it was so quiet. And it was like, yeah, well, there were babies sleeping and we were recording a podcast.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We were quite literally recording in the dark of my house. But it was a cool little setup. We got it all figured out. It was great. And yeah.
Yeah, and it's because of you guys that I realized actually when we were setting up for that episode that I didn't have an adapter I needed to use the microphone, the built-in microphone that's in my headphones.
Yes.
And so
Yep.
then I bought the adapter. So now I'm super set up, and you can each have your own mic next time. So
Yep.
there won't be fighting over
Well,
it.
yeah, and I think that was a part of the me maybe taking over. I hope you can't hear him. He's in his pterodactyl
I
phase.
can't hear him. Oh,
Um,
there's a little
cool.
bit.
Yeah. But I think that was a part of it, was that we had to share the mic. So even though him and I were kind of having a conversation with you, essentially, you could hear me, and then he was kind of talking as well, but you couldn't hear him
Yeah.
because it was the one mic situation. So we had to take turns, and it was very much like Tamara was like, "Yo, this is my podcast interview. What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
But it was, yeah, a very good episode. Um, and yeah, that gives you a little bit of insight as to our relationship. Is he's very short and sweet and to the point, and I like to give a little bit more detail, which is a good balance.
Yeah. And I am not afraid. In fact, I love learning, and I'm still learning this whole podcast thing. So I was like, okay, I
Yeah,
need an extra component here in order to do what I want to do.
there we go. Now you're set up for the next time you come to Texas or wherever you go, that you end up wanting to do a podcast. Oh, I think you said actually in Washington, when you guys go next month, you're going to
Yeah.
bring the, yeah, see, there you go. Now you're all set.
Yeah. At the very least, I want to record on location with Emma, because that's when we recorded our last one, and I thought it'd be fun.
Yeah.
And it just feels like, I don't know, it just feels different and like exciting when I'm not here, because this is where I always record.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. But yeah, I'm set up. So
Sweet.
yeah. But yeah, so the topic I wanted to talk about today, and I thought of you for, and also that trip to Texas really inspired these thoughts as well. I wanted to do like a special December episode, and I started thinking about gifts, and I was thinking about life's gifts, and I thought, this would be a really good episode to do with Farah, because I just feel like that's kind of your outlook on life, is like there are so many of these just gifts that are around, and you're really good at just noticing like what God has given you, and what's you've said a lot, like, this is the stuff that I've prayed for, and like now God's giving it to me,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought of you for that. And I also, in the same, basically when I was curating this episode, I also had come across the Creative Types quiz, which I sent you. And it's basically this, like, I guess, personality test, if you will. But it's about your creative type, and there's all this, information about the different creative types. And I think there's like 8. And as I was going through that, it was part of my, like, one of my personal development exercises of the morning. And I was going over it, looking into mine, and it was talking about some of your greatest gifts. Those are the words that it used. And then it just kind of got me thinking as well. And then I was like, oh, this could be a really good topic, or at least starter. And I could send it to Farah and see what she is. So, but yeah, if you don't know about creative type, you can take a free test. It's just, just a little quiz. It's kind of fun, at mycreativetype.com. And you can see what you are. Get a little, insight. I'm the alchemist. So
Alchemist.
the alchemist,
Interesting.
is basically a person who transforms or creates something through a seemingly magical purpose. That's what an alchemist is. That's like the actual definition, Webster definition or whatever. And
I don't even think I've heard of that word, so that's cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I first heard of it. This was probably like a couple years ago now. I first heard Brene Brown say that one of her favorite books was The Alchemist. And then I wanted to read it forever, but, didn't get there because reading lists are never ending. And then Suda moved in, and she was like getting rid of some books, and The Alchemist was one of them. And she was like, do you want any of these books? And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I want to read that. finally read it. Super cute. It's like a fable type story. Farrah's currently getting attacked by her kid. Oh my gosh. They're obsessed with trying to get her hair and stuff. But yeah, so anyway, cute book. Side note, really easy read too. But yeah, so An Alchemist is what I just described, and then like the example that the internet likes to give is like turning ordinary metals into gold, or my favorite, turning ordinary metals into my favorite is discovering the elixir of life, which I was like, hells yeah, let's go. Let's discover this.
That sounds like a beverage.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
a fun beverage.
Actually, I think another good thing to know before I super get into the creative type was how I stumbled upon it. Have you heard of, maybe more famously is the tendencies, the 4 tendencies? No? Okay. Well, it's another kind of
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's another kind of like personality type quiz and like train of thought, where Gretchen Rubin is the author of that, and I think she wrote books. She has like an app if you want to look into it more, but basically her thing is like everyone has these 4 tendencies, and mine's the obliger, and the motto is you can count on me and I'm counting on you to count on me.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, so I guess a lot of people are obligers, but anyway, through her I learned about she has an app called the Happier app, and I started doing that. I started just like looking into it. I wasn't like super attached, but I needed a new avenue for my gratitudes, and I was like, I noticed in her app it said something about there were like daily questions, like know yourself better questions. And I was like, oh, maybe I just like move to a little prompt. And it's in the Happier app, so it's all kind of geared toward, happy thoughts, happy reflection, things like that. And that was where it came from. The question of the day was, what's your creative type? And I was like, how am I even supposed to know that? So I dug into it more, took this quiz, and I just kind of got obsessed for a second. Because it's one of those things that like gets you like motivated and inspired to like dig in deeper to what the results are and what it's talking about.
Yeah, it's also one of those things like that when you take quizzes like this, it's like pieces start to be put together and you're like, oh, that's why I do that, or oh, that makes total sense. Like I remember, and I know we're going to talk about this later, but that Align, well, originally called My Human Design, now it's called the Align app. But I remember when you and Devin introduced that to me, and I was like, oh, I'm going to check this out. And literally everything that came up, I was like, whoa, this is kind of freaky. But it's all a connection. Like everything is a connection. I believe like birth order plays into it. I believe like even you were just talking about like, being able to be relied on, like, and knowing, and you wanting someone else to know that, hey, I'm here for you. Like I instantly thought of, and I know we say this all the time, but us being the middle in our four, and our 4 Bradley girls, where it's like Devin, you, me, Wes, like I know that there are certain things that you are going to understand because we've shared that for so long, and vice versa. And now it's like to the point where it's a joke where it's like, well, us middles, we understand it, you guys don't, type thing.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that like I basically everything you were saying, I was like, yeah, that's totally Chelsea.
Yeah.
Totally Chelsea.
Yep. It's just really interesting. But actually, yeah, now that you bring up My Human Design, that's like kind of, I mean, that definitely came before this, but that was a total deep dive that I think we've mentioned several times on the podcast, at least like referenced it. I don't have the book because I let Devin borrow it and I should have got it back for this, but one thing is you can go on to, what did I just send you? My Human Design Hub. humandesign.com and get a free, like your free human design profile.
Oh, did you send it in my email? I didn't see, but
I think I sent it via
I did do
text.
I re-downloaded the My Human Design app,
Oh
now
yeah.
called the Align app. And
Yeah,
so then
maybe it
that's where I got
was
all the information.
yeah, maybe it was via email, but doesn't matter. But speaking of gifts and like God's gifts, natural gifts, whatever you want to call them, the human design, that's a whole section of it, is your gifts that you were just naturally born with, and the ones that you're designed to share with the world, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those are, I mean, yeah, like you said, this whole human design thing will just blow your mind. And even after I had like been through the app up and down, read the book, listened to podcast, like I was like, again, I just like dove deep into my human design. And then like probably a year or more than a year later, we go to this dinner where someone's giving a talk, a presentation about it.
Oh, I know. I
And
was so jealous of that when Devin told me about it. Or you guys both told me about it, and I was like,
yeah,
what?
I know. So was
That is
Emma.
so
Emma was like,
cool.
oh my gosh, I would have liked to do that.
Thanks
But
for the invite, Gales.
yeah, but I still learned stuff. I was still just
Yeah.
like, wow. And then I was also reminded of a lot of things. But I remember one time specifically, or one part in the presentation, she was like talking about manifestors, which Emma's a manifester. And I was just like, she's like literally describing my wife right now. And me
Yeah.
and Devin were just like laughing because we're like, what? Like, do you hear what she just
Yeah.
said? But then in her profile that she gives you, there's so much more data than what my Human Design Align app gives you too. Or
Okay.
maybe it's not more, maybe it's just like outlined different, but there were these other like markings in the profile of people who are like, what does this mean? What does that mean? And like I learned that I'm supposed to, like, I shouldn't fast. Like fasting, I'm one of those people that fasting doesn't really work well for, because she's like, projectors should be eating like all day. Snack, if you want a snack, just snack. She's like, your brain needs fuel because your brain's constantly going.
Yeah.
And I was just cracking up because I'm like, I actually am eating all the time. And
Literally.
like,
That's why I just laughed. Yeah.
yeah. And mom's realized it because we started working closer together. She's like, oh, always commenting on it. I remember working at Tech Systems and people would be like, Chelsea's eating again. Chelsea's eating her second breakfast, her second lunch, whatever. And I'm like, dude, I'm hungry. Like, and I would have to pack like a whole like lunch bag of food because I would get hungry. And it's just so funny. Like you said, you like read these things and you're just like, oh, that totally happens. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now I know I'm not crazy.
I remember finding out with Devin explaining it to me, and how she put in Huck's information, our nephew Huck. I know he's been talked about here, but his like eating environment, I believe it was,
Oh yeah.
was like quiet or like low sound or something like that.
Yeah.
And she was like, that helped me so much because, and as you know, anyone who's been at one of our family gatherings, Huck either eats after everyone has eaten, and or he goes into another room and eats, because he literally like cannot eat with a big party of
Yeah.
people.
He's like way
He's
too
totally
stimulated.
fine. Yeah, he's totally fine obviously eating when he's just him and his family, but um it's like big settings. He's like, no, I'm not going to eat here. And I think that's one of my digestion is low sound or something like that. So yeah, it's definitely something, if you're into that stuff. I feel like not everyone's into this type of stuff, but
Yeah.
if you're into it, definitely look into this stuff that we're talking about for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, that's why I said what I said in the very beginning too, because I was like, I should probably start like just kind of giving people a little, I don't know, heads up about like what we're even talking about on this podcast, because these are the conversations I want to have. And as a personal development coach, I'm doing this stuff all the time. and obviously fascinated by it. So I'm like, I want to talk to people that also want to talk about this. But yeah, the stuff with Huck, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense. And I've like made it more of a point to help him in those situations of like, hey, do you want to go? Like, there was one day, I think it was noodle night. Yeah. And he like wasn't eating. And I was like, hey, do you want to go into my office for just like a little bit and, you know, take some bites? And he was like, yeah. And he just like sat at my desk and ate and then came back out there. And I mean, he didn't like scarf his food, but he was just way more comfortable like in that setting eating. So yeah, it's just really interesting.
Totally.
But yeah, what were some of your gifts?
Some of my gifts
Tatum?
were gift 25, embracing life with childlike innocence.
Oh, I think I had that one
Creating
too.
new things. Gift 1. Gift 8, being a tastemaker and marketeer. A love of life, expanding the good in others' lives. But my most important gift was embracing life with a childlike innocence. And I can totally relate to that. It actually reminds me of this one time of I was actually talking with my mother-in-law, and I made the comment of like, let kids be kids. And she didn't mock me, but she kind of was like, oh, really? Like, let kids be kids. And at the time, I didn't have any kids. But in, to put the full context, funny enough, her child, my husband, was literally like about to attack me onto the couch as I'm saying this. And I literally look at her and I go, yeah, let kids be kids, like pointing to her son. And she just starts dying laughing. And I'm like, no, like I just let people be themselves. And I think I always have, even when I was a kid myself and growing up and a teen and whatnot. But also just like my own kids now, like I'm always dancing with them and singing with them and whatever. Like I don't even want them to grow up. I would literally keep them little forever if I could. But I know that that's not allowed, or not a thing. But yeah, that's definitely one that I for sure resonated with, because I'm always just like, there's a point in time where, things change, you grow up for real, and it's like you shouldn't take life too seriously, and you shouldn't sway away from that child, like inner child, is as much as I feel like a lot of kids are these days. They're just really eager to grow up. And I don't ever remember like wanting to grow up. I'm sure there were days that I did, but I don't ever remember being like, oh man, I can't wait to blah blah blah. Like, I think the only thing I couldn't wait for was to be a mom. I was just
Yeah.
like, I can't wait to be a mom one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were some of my gifts. Do we have any of the same gifts? I'm sure, in fact, that one screams out to me about you.
Yeah,
Embracing.
we do share that one.
Okay.
And I wanted to just briefly point out that Farah said your most important gift, and that's what the app like delineates what your most important gift is. So she wasn't just saying this is my most important one.
Yeah, they're all important, but that is what the app says. My most important one is embracing life with a childlike innocence.
Yeah, and I got I like subscribed for a month so that I could get more details into this. But yeah, it says people with gift 25 are people who naturally know how to embrace life with a youthful attitude. Tapping into this gift is about getting rid of the conditioning that you need to come across as super grown up or that you've got it all handled, and tapping back into the wisdom of a child's mind.
That's good.
Yeah, looking at everything as if for the first time, and therefore soaking up all the wonder and awe that you can feel when you do that. Knowing that you know nothing is the highest wisdom there is. There's a special kind of power and freedom in looking at a tree as if you've never seen a tree before, not to mention it's an attitude that gives you so much levity to your life. You're here to show us there's a way of moving through the world like everything is new without the baggage of the past, and helping others remember that there's wisdom in not needing to know everything.
I don't know if this goes hand in hand, but I get the comment a lot, especially in a work setting, that I'm like way too optimistic. And I don't know if that goes hand in hand with that, but I'm just like, I don't know. I don't want to, like, sure, this experience may have happened to you and someone's not going to do it with you that way, but I'm hopeful that they will, that I can give a different perspective or something.
Yeah, totally.
But I get that comment a lot that like, oh, you're so optimistic. And I'm like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah. Yeah, I have that gift too, and I maybe embrace my childlike innocence a little bit too much, but I'm not mad about it. And I've even been trying to like reconnect with it more recently because the normal stresses of life have gotten me down a little bit. And so I'm like, just because I have a lot going on doesn't mean I have to let go of this like silliness and, just like having fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my most important gift is a nose for success. A nose for success. That's what it says. People with this gift can just tell if something's going to work out or not. That's pretty much it. And I'll literally be like, that's where my effort goes. If I'm like, I don't think so, not going to do it.
Yeah.
Or if I'm like, no, this like idea has a lot of potential, then I start trying to get people on board because I'm like, I'm telling you.
We were kind of talking about that actually when you were here in Texas about how like you're a little like you have the ideas and you know but you what was it? It was something like um it was something about like just kind of like going for it. And I think you were comparing, I can't remember, you were giving an example of comparison to who, but it was kind of like one of those things where it's like you were saying, I do that, but I'm a little bit more calculated.
Mm-hmm.
I think about it a little bit longer than whoever it was that we were kind of giving an example of.
Yeah.
But that's a cool gift. I like
Yeah.
that one.
And that's interesting what you just said too, because was it my creative type? I can't remember. I think it was my creative type was talking about contemplation and how I need to give myself ample time for contemplation because that's where my creativity comes from. And we were just talking, me and Devin and Emma were on the trail, and Devin was saying like I just need to like do something, and she was like, I know you like want it to be good and like, not perfect, but like you want it to be good, but like I think you just need to like she's like saying I just need to act and like do something, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm not ready. I'm like, I need to like think about it some more. And like I know that sounds, to some people it might sound like talking myself out of it or like being scared or whatever, but I'm like, no, I'm literally like working it out in my head. And then I go, ooh, that's what I'm going to do. And then I just, and based on what this is saying, I'm like, oh yeah, that's going to work out. So I'm going to go for that now.
Yeah. Well, and this isn't a shot at Devin at all because she's amazing, but Devin is very much that person of just like, I'm just gonna throw this out there and we're gonna see what happens. And
she's a
but
generator.
she has the confidence though to back it up. Like she may not know what the outcome is gonna be, but she just knows like this is gonna work out. And I can relate to that. So my energy type is a manifesting generator.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because Demars says all the time, he's just like, you just have this way of just speaking things into existence. And it's really creepy, but it's also really amazing that literally everything happens that you say is going to happen. um Especially the last like I really dove into it probably like since like 2020 when I really was like really dove into my faith journey and just like a lot of things and speaking things into existence and praying and all of that stuff. And really from there, like quite literally our life has has truly everything has happened that I have said was going to happen
Yeah.
in ways where even he's just like whoa.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of power in manifesting, and not just manifesting to think about it and say it out loud, but it
Mm-hmm.
also drives your inspiration, drives your motivation, and then you
Totally.
start acting toward the things that you want. And maybe it's not going to
Mm-hmm.
come out exactly how you are manifesting, but it's still in the direction that you want to be in, that like you feel is, you're thriving in
Oh,
that direction.
yeah. No, I think about our 2023 move to Texas. My specific prayer and manifestation was just a big win for Damar. I was like, God, I really want Damar to experience a big win in his career. That was my very specific ask. It was like a big win in his career, something that is life changing, something that is um, going to literally change our lives for the better. Not that we were in a bad situation or anything like that, but it was just one of those things where I had seen this pattern of him and I just knew he needed a win. And it
Mm-hmm.
was just like, God, whatever that is, like prepare us for it. And I remember specifically starting to pray and manifest about this in April 2023, right when we had Araya, because it was one of just like my nightly routine of praying with her, putting her to bed, all the things. And did I manifest moving to Texas? No, like never was that a thing. But come almost 6 months later, it's like, hey, we have a job interview for you. Hey, let's do that interview. Hey, you got the job, like within a matter of a week. And we kind of go into that on that podcast episode we were talking about earlier
Mm-hmm.
of just moving to Texas. But I think about that all the time. It's like, you can manifest whatever it is, but ultimately how it ends up happening is really how it was planned by the big guy upstairs. And so I tell people all the time, like, I did not manifest Texas. No, nowhere in my prayers, nowhere in my prayers or anything like that did I say, God, I want to move to Texas and I want this and that and all of that. Like nowhere in that. It was just very specific of a big win for Damar in his career and something that would change our life.
Yeah.
And here we are.
It's awesome. That is awesome. Um, okay. Did you have, I know it's been a little while since you looked at it, but did you have any gifts that surprised you in the My Human Design?
um,
Or were they all kind of like,
I
oh
don't
yeah, that makes sense? Or,
but they all kind of made sense. The one that I like was taken aback from was your not self, how you feel when you're
oh,
doing things that aren't aligned for you.
oh yeah. What is it?
Mine was frustration, which at first I was like, I'm not really a frustrating person. Like I don't get frustrated a lot. But then once I looked more into it, it was like when you're doing things that aren't aligned for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, no, that makes sense. Because I do get annoyed or frustrated of like, why am I doing this? Like, this is wasting my energy. Like, I don't want anything to do with this type thing. So that's where I was like, oh, okay, frustration. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then what was another one? Um, oh, the what we talked about, I think actually offline was your emotions, how you feel, and mine was non-emotional. And I was like, that which I don't have the extended version of this app, so I don't know what that means exactly. But the non-emotional for me, I was just like, I would consider myself an emotional person,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to how I feel things. But according to this, I'm non-emotional, which is funny because when we did this test for Damar, he's emotional, which we both were like, this should be flipped. But again, we didn't have the version where we could look into what these mean.
Yeah. I just signed up for it for this episode. Oh wait, that's not the year you were born. Hold on.
94, baby.
Do you know what time you were born? Of course you do. What time you were born?
5, no, 4:13 a.m.
I knew it was 4 something a.m. Don't ask me why the I remembered that about yours.
Did I say 413?
Yeah.
I
431.
meant 431. 431.
Don't ask me why I know that.
Probably. Oh no, you weren't there. Devin was there.
Was it Everett?
Everett. Yep. Everett, Washington.
Yep, manifesting
No.
generator. Okay, so you were just saying, no, that's not what you were saying. Your emotions, yeah. I think I'm the
Yeah,
same. Let me check it real quick. Yeah, non-emotional. This one was really interesting, as you say, because like at face value, you think like you just said, I'm very emotional. Like if I told my wife I was non-emotional, she'd be like, that's not correct.
literally. Literally. That is the same conversation I had with my husband.
Yeah. But it does say being non-emotional means that your natural state is cool, calm, and collected. You only feel things when something is happening around you that makes you feel a certain way. You might think, well, like, isn't this the case for everyone? The answer is no. This is what it says. 50% of the population lives their lives on highs and lows that have nothing to do with what's actually going on in the world around them. It's like their background emotional setting goes up and down where yours is steady. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and then when I think about that, I think sometimes like things are happening and I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of non-emotional. I'm kind of just like
or
assessing,
you're kind of
like
waiting, like, is this gonna affect me?
Yeah.
If it's not, I'm not gonna be triggered by this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense. Like I definitely am pretty chill, but if it's something that I'm passionate about or is gonna affect my family, then it's like, I have an opinion on that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes.
So it's not like because when I think of emotional, I think of like one, I mean, everyone in this family knows I'm the crier. And so it's like that's what I think of automatically. But I don't I guess if it's like a day-to-day thing, I'm not an emotional person.
Yeah.
So
yeah, when you think of it that way, as like, I like how she says like your background default or whatever is calm, cool, and collected. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense because I'm kind of just like even keel until something happens that, okay, if people are getting into a fight, then I'm starting to get like riled up, like, what's going on? Are we about to fight?
Yeah, exactly.
But
or if your TikTok algorithm is showing you some emotional things, that happens to me all the time. I was literally just bawling my eyes out to Devin about a TikTok recently, and she did the trend with Hagen, and then Hagen was like, he was like, Auntie Noosh, my mom said that you were crying over this, and I was like, yeah, I was. And then there was something that he was like, why? Like, I was like, Hagen, I cried when you went to kindergarten. I'm like, I'm just a crier, okay? Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I'm like super sensitive like that too, which I always like kind of hid it around people. And then probably, I don't know, probably since I got married or whatever, I just am like, I don't care. Like, I love you so much that this song and this thought makes me cry. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, Devin, I like called her. Actually, it was on the Teams call, and I went to explain her the trend, and I just started bawling. And she was like, holy shit. I was like, I'm so sorry. But I literally thought of you. Like, I thought of you, and this is why I'm explaining it to you. And I was just like, oh my God, like, I need to tell her about this. So she was like, thank you for thinking of me. And then, of course, she started, crying. And I was just like, I'm a mess. I'm literally a mess.
She told me that whole story. She left out the part about her crying, but we were cracking up.
She wasn't crying as much as I was. Like, I was a mess.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm being completely transparent. I cried about this trend for 2 days, like literally 2 days, because it kept on coming up on my TikTok. And I was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to watch this again. Why am I watching this again? Like, oh my God. But I literally cried about it for 2 days, and I think it's hilarious that you guys were laughing about it.
Because it's funny. Like in hindsight, it's funny. Obviously, if
Yeah,
you called any of us crying, we would be like, "What's going on?" But
yeah,
and then
yeah.
so then Devin's like, "I need you to take this picture," and we're cracking up while we're taking the picture. She's like, "I need to send this to Farah." So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh my
but yeah.
goodness.
I don't know
Well,
exactly what the trend is. Something about like not being able to hold your kids anymore or
yeah.
something.
Well, so to give context, it was that there is a time in a mom and child's life, and this even goes for the dad too. This could be a dad trend as well. But every video that I was seeing on TikTok with this trend was a mom and son. So that's why I thought of Devin.
Mm-hmm.
She has two boys. But the trend was there's a time in a mother and child's life that you picked them up for the last time and you put them down for the last time
Mm,
and you don't remember when that is.
mm-hmm.
So I literally called Devin and I was like, I need you to pick up the boys. Like, I need you to pick them up. And she was like, Farah, Hagen's like 130 pounds. And I was like, I don't care. I need you to pick up the boys. Like, and I just need you to feel that one more time because do you remember the last time that you picked them up? And she was like, well, yes and no. And I was like, I don't care. You're doing it today. Like, I, I just need you to do this. And I probably was more, and I think this is what I told her is I said, I'm very much in a season where I have babies. Like, I have a 2.5 year old, a 1 year old, and I'm picking them up every single day. So
Mm-hmm.
that is just my routine. And so I immediately thought of her where she's not picking up her babies anymore. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is the saddest thing ever.
Yeah.
And it was a really sweet trend because even sometimes there were boys that were crying with their mom, like, oh my gosh, I like they themselves didn't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so it was a really sweet trend. And, like I said, it could go both ways. Dads with daughters, dads with sons. Like it's just a parent picking up their kid
Mm-hmm.
and putting them down. And you really truly don't know when the last time that is gonna be.
Yeah.
Um and so and knowing Devin with Hagen, he's been a big boy for a while. So I was like, do you know when the last time was that you picked up
Yeah.
Hagen? And she was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, that's ended up why she ended up sending me the picture. And then it's funny because she actually called me the other day. She's like, I thought of you because when Huck was getting out of the shower, he was like, Mom, can you pick me up like a baby burrito? And so she wrapped him up in a towel, and then she was like, I thought of you because I was holding him like a baby. And I was like, good. I was like, and this is me for anything, like any chance you get to just hold your babies, like do it. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're in a season right now where bedtime is um a little bit longer for Araya. She just wants to be cuddled. And I'm like, I'm never gonna say no to cuddling you and to comforting you and being that safe space for you. So it's just like, do it. Like these kids grow up so fast. Um and I'm just like, no, I want to hold you forever.
Yeah.
So that was the trend to give more context,
Yeah.
and why I was crying about it for 2 days.
Yeah. And why it was so funny because, as you said, Hagen is like 130 pounds and
And like what,
difficult to
11?
hold.
He's 11, right?
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
a big kid. And poor
yeah.
Hagen's probably stopped getting picked up like when he was in kindergarten. I'm not really sure.
No,
But
truly, truly, he's been a big kid for a long time, and so that's where I really was like, Devin, I need you to pick Hagen up. And even Hagen was like, Nish, what? Like he was like, what? My mom's gonna pick me up because he even said he was like, I'm used to picking her up, and I was
mm-hmm.
like. I'm like, well, this time she's gonna pick you up.
Yeah. He's been practicing that ever since he could, even just, a
Oh yeah,
half inch off the ground.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
No,
He's
so that's
funny.
probably why I specifically thought of her because I do know that it's probably been a long time since she picked up Hagen because he's been a big boy for a long time.
Yeah.
He's pretty solid.
In the reverse, we're probably gonna be able to pick up Huck until he's like Hagen's age.
Probably,
'Cause he's
probably.
on the small
He
end.
might have been a big boy when he was born, but he is a tiny giant, as I like to call him.
Yeah.
Tiny but mighty. Rex
Mm-hmm.
and Lucas.
That's
Yeah.
right. Emma calls me small and mighty, and I'm like, you know what? It's a thing. Unfortunately, height does not run in our family, but we've
Mm-mm.
made it work.
No, it doesn't. But somehow my kids are in the 80th percentile as of right now
Maybe they got
with height.
their dad's side of things in that category.
For sure. He does have two brothers that are probably over. That's what I would say. Yeah, they didn't get it from us. Nope,
Mm-mm.
not us.
Um. Okay. What else? Um. Speaking of gifts, speaking of my human design, or what about maybe we can switch over to the creative type. Was there anything in there that again, I don't know if it used the same language for all of them, but like for mine it was saying one of my greatest gifts is my ability to find wisdom in any experience. It says you see into the heart of things, which is also kind of funny because what this just said a nose for success, like being able to see if something's going to work out or not. And then also said that it said you have a powerful voice and a gift for giving expression to the indescribable, which I thought that was really
Yes.
interesting for me because I like I didn't really think about it until this, but like whenever I'm telling stories or just like I don't know, just in like deep into a conversation, there's
Uh-huh.
often times where I say things or I tell a story or whatever and people are like so captivated and then or they're just like I've never thought of it that way or like or so many times too where like I say something and people are like bring it back to me. They're like, when you said that, like, you know, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I'm like, I said that.
Yeah. You can't
But
even recall what you said.
yeah, because it's
Um,
just like I'm just like talking, really talking out my mouth. But
yeah. So uh I'm a luminary.
mm-hmm.
Luminary is mine. And I would say, yeah, some things definitely stuck out to it. Let me pull it up so I can see. Um,
Yeah, and if there's any
it's
like
funny.
connections between the two.
Yeah. I actually really resonated with this sentence. It said, "You see beyond the ordinary, past the mess and the mundane to a more refined reality." Um, Damar always references my tunnel vision when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to certain things that I just want to happen or I say are going to happen. Um, it's something he admires about me, but it's also something that can be probably annoying to deal with because I'm just like, nah, it's gonna be this way. And he's like, okay, but what if this happens?
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be this way. And it's just kind of one of those things where I'm like, no, this is exactly how it's gonna happen. It also goes on to say like this unshakable conviction in your dreams is what sustains you on the journey from concept to creation, which
Ooh.
I feel like is kind of a tunnel vision like
Yeah.
nod. Um, and then it says the world depends on the luminary to dream the future into being. Um, what other things? I'm empathetic and idealist nature. I long for a harmonious, meaningful life and devote myself to making my own corner of the universe more beautiful, balanced, and vibrant. Um,
So I'm definitely hearing like similarities with the what was it? The childlike innocence or
mhm,
whatever
Childlike
from
innocence gift. Yeah.
yeah, because like looking at everything as if for the first time or what was the other thing? It said something about oh yeah, you're here to show us there's a way of moving through the world like everything is new without the baggage of the past. But that's kind
Hmm.
of like I mean, literally kids, they don't know, they have no reference point. They're just like learning everything for the first time and experiencing it for the first time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like really hear like similarities between those two.
Yeah. I would agree. I would agree.
What was your
Um,
what was your the things at the end? What did they call them? Like your I need to pull mine up. I should have done this already.
at the end of
At the end of the like
insights,
report
your insights and joining forces with others. The bullet
where it
points, is
said
that what you're
like
talking about?
your yeah, where it said like your creative partner was one of them or like your growth opportunity. So the
Oh
very
yeah, yeah, yeah. So mine, let's see, zone of genius
yeah,
is
that
expansive vision, belief, and possibility.
expansive vision.
My deepest aspiration is materializing your ideals. My growth opportunity is deepening connection with others,
Mm.
and my creative partner is the architect.
Architect. That sounds like a
Mhm.
badass. I don't know who it is, but
I know. I was like, ooh, what architect should I connect with?
you should so I had Emma take this and okay, first off, my creative partner happened to be what Emma is and I was like this makes so much sense because anytime I like have a good idea, I need to talk to her about it. I'm like I need to
Mm,
run this by you and it
yeah.
works for me. And I was like this makes so much sense. Well, then her creative partner was I think the gardener. And so I was like and she
Mm,
specifically is kind of struggling with like career development right now. And so I was like we need to find a gardener that you like to
yeah.
talk to so that you can like get in your creative zone and like figure out how to, grow your career.
Yeah.
And so I just wonder if you have anyone in your circles that you like already talk to that's an architect that you could connect with more.
Yeah. Interesting.
Um go back though. What was the first thing again? What does it say?
Um,
Zone of
about the luminary.
genius?
Oh, zone of genius,
Yeah.
expansive vision, belief in possibility.
And then what was the second thing?
Deepest aspiration was materializing your ideals.
Yeah, which that was interesting because you were talking a lot about manifesting and
Hmm.
that's just these are the things that I'm just like this is so wild
It's so
sometimes.
it's so interesting. Like when you do stuff like this, you're just like, wait a second, this is all connecting.
Yeah.
Um,
And you're like
and
I
all
do
making
that.
sense. Yeah. No, it's crazy. It really is. Like, and I think even me, you, and Devin are all manifesting generators. I think.
I'm a projector.
Oh, you're a
Devin's
projector.
a
Okay.
generator.
Yeah. Okay. Her and I. Yeah. Okay. That's funny. Tatum is a projector. I put
Yeah,
his info in last
Tatum.
night. He's a projector. There was a few things actually. I was laughing when I put in his information last night, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can already see this, and you're only one."
Yeah. It's so helpful though. It's so helpful,
Mm-hmm.
especially for kids, but also for just your relationships, like to have an
Mm-hmm.
understanding and to try to, work more cohesively instead of be like, oh my gosh, why, Huck, why aren't you eating your food? Like, eat. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, well, now that we figured out, put them in a quiet environment, there's not as much of a problem.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
No, even like with the creative type, with the connection, deepening connections,
Mm-hmm.
um, that I was like, oh, I definitely am in a season of like mom mode right now,
Mm-hmm.
and that can kind of cloud my other connections. And so I'm like, okay, maybe I put that on my 2026 board of like, hey, really trying to be better here on deepening my connections, even with just like my people, like my sisters, my husband, my friends. Like I know all of my people in my corner know that I am gonna be there for them regardless. But am I 100% mentally there
Mm-hmm.
when I'm having conversations with them? Probably not. Am I, like certain little things like that? Or am I distracted? Definitely distracted. Um, So I can even I'm even like when I saw that the other day when I took the survey, I was like, oh, okay, how can I take this and put it into action basically.
Totally. Yeah, my growth opportunity is honing your craft. And I just, when I reflect on the last year and a half with Chimney, it's like I haven't been working on my craft at all. I've been,
Hmm.
you know, doing this family business thing, which I really don't have any regrets, other than just maybe not like putting all of my stuff like on the back burner, you know, during this whole thing. But I don't even know if there would have been room for it, even if I had, tried. But
Hmm.
but yeah, I think about that. My life coaching has been really slow, and I think about even just podcasting. And what's funny is before I took this quiz, I was already getting back into podcasting because I was like, I really miss it. I have a lot of ideas. I want to just like try things. And
Hmm.
then I take this thing, and it's like your growth opportunities, honing your craft, and I'm like, well, I feel that.
Yeah.
So, but I also, there's been so many times where I've been scared that like I'm not going to make enough money or it's not going to be like enough income for our family. And so I end up going like running to the income instead of honing my
Hmm.
craft. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's something 2026, that's something I'm like going to try to really focus on. Um, just,
Which is, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I was just going to say,
I just
just
had a
like,
thought of that.
just giving some of these things a chance, like a real chance, like
Totally.
to see if they go somewhere without worrying about, oh, I got to make money too.
Yeah. No, and that's like that kind of goes in that's it's doing you a disservice basically if you're not going to give it 100% of a chance because even if you told yourself give yourself a year, like a solid year of doing the things you should have been doing, who knows how things could change. And maybe you're not like making income the way you want to at the end of 2026, but did you make more connections? Did you you know, help someone that you've been trying to help for a long time or whatever it may be? There's going to be little wins
Mm-hmm.
uh when you think back on it. It's kind of like when you move somewhere new. I was, you know, Wesley, when she moved to Arizona, I was like, hey, give it a year. If you don't like it, go back to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
um or even like when you try a new supplement, give it a few months before you're really seeing a, you know, a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's more of a natural route. That's all. Everything's going to take time. It's just having that patience and, you know, wanting to see that result right away is hard.
Yeah.
um but at the end of the day, if you're not going to give yourself the time, the patience, the grace, all of those things, and setting yourself up of like, no, I'm going to give this a solid year, 6 months, whatever the timeline is, then reevaluate. It's only going to be it's only going to be a good thing that you did that.
Yeah. Totally. Great advice. Speaking of advice, do you have to go in 9 minutes?
um I mean, I'm mobile, so
Oh, true.
I
Let's
can
just
take you
keep
with me.
going.
I am about to throw, I mean, not throw, sorry mom, not going to throw your grandson, but I am about to put him in
Throw
his
him.
bed so he goes to bed.
Throw him.
Mom's going to be like, James, do not throw my grandson.
I
Blah,
wish
blah,
I
blah."
was there. I'd throw him around a bit.
Dude, he actually loves being thrown around.
Yeah.
So
A lot of kids do. They just think it's fun. You're playing. I mean, obviously you are, but it's like,
yeah,
yeah.
but no, yes, I do have to go and get Araya from school. But again, I'm mobile, so I can chitty chat still.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to say about my human design, the creative types, this, I don't know, just this place that we're
Um,
at?
I mean, I kind of said it earlier of like if you're interested in stuff like this, I would definitely recommend utilizing these resources. Um, I feel like too, if you're kind of in a position where maybe you're lost, or maybe you're just kind of like, what's next for me? Or, you know, what is there more, like Chelsea was saying, like, what is there more I can hone in on in 2026? And I say 2026 because it's like we're right there, and it's that
Mm-hmm.
time of year where you're making resolutions, you're making goals, whatever it may be that you call them and believe in. But these might be good tools for you to kind of dive into and, look a little bit more into, because like Chelsea and I've said multiple times, whether it's this quiz or this my gifts quiz or the my human design, when you get the results, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Or,
Yeah.
oh, you know, I kind of knew that, but this makes, more sense to it. And it's also fun. I mean, if you're into it, like I said, if you're into this stuff, definitely do it. It's something I'm into. It's like the same thing, like with zodiac stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
all of it is connected. I know dad makes fun of us with the zodiac stuff, which is so funny, Mr. Gemini. Um, but uh it really is all connected, in, if you have interest in it, like, just do it.
Yeah.
um it could be a fun, like, connection activity as well. Like Chelsea and I both mentioned, we, reached out to our spouses, and they did it as well, and, a talking piece on that.
Mm-hmm.
um or even just friends, like, even I remember Chelsea and Devin, they introduced it to me, and I was like, oh yeah, oh okay, this is where we are the same in that.
Mm-hmm.
Or, oh, that makes sense. So, especially with the My Human Design app, I downloaded it, did all of my family, um my husband, my two kids. And so it's just kind of interesting to put pieces together and all of that. Um, and maybe there's other resources out there that your viewers can share with us that
Mm-hmm.
are a little bit more different. So, but yeah, I think this topic is fun to talk about. I appreciate you thinking of me when it comes to that, because I definitely am that type of person of like, hey, I prayed and asked for this every single thing in my life. And I think that every single day should be celebrated in some way. Um, Even the hard days, like, I'm in a hard, busy season with two toddlers. Um, but at the end of the day, I'm like, this isn't going to be forever. And I wanted this.
Yeah.
I wanted these kids. Um, they may be a little bit wild, little boy. But yeah, it's just something to be celebrated, and every person has their own gifts as well. Um, and those should be celebrated too, in any type of connection. I mean, I think about my sisters and I go to some sisters for certain things, and another thing for another sister.
Mm-hmm.
I remember specifically one time a long time ago, I think you were living in Bellingham, but I remember you saying, like, yeah, sometimes when I have a more serious thing to talk about, I want to go to you versus Chelsea or Wesley. And I was just kind of like, huh, okay, like, hey, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Um, but it was like one of the first memories that I can remember of someone saying something like that to me, and being like, oh, okay, well, that's because I'm listening, and, trying to help them in whatever way it is. But again, it's one of those gifts that should be celebrated. If there's certain people in your life that you go to for certain things, um and that's okay.
Yeah. And it's probably because they have certain gifts that they're supposed to share with the world.
Yeah.
I have this little, the yogi teas, how they have like a little message on the tea bag, like the little paper thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, when you said that, I went to like boba tea, and I was like, what are they what what do they have?
I've never seen
And I
that.
don't even drink boba tea,
Oh,
but that's where my mind went.
that's funny. No, the brand yogi tea,
Yeah.
they have like a
Yep.
little
Yep.
message. I got one
Hmm.
a long time ago that I've had on my mirror forever. And this was before I
Hmm.
learned any of this stuff. Before I even
Uh.
learned it, before I even like had the words for these gifts, because
Mm.
people in our lives didn't talk about that. Like, oh, it's a gift to have this, and these are your, unique gifts. Like, that wasn't
Oh
a
yeah,
thing.
no. This was not a topic of conversation with our family, like, until recently, I
Literally,
would
yeah.
say.
Literally. But anyway, it says, do not leave this world with your unique gifts still inside you.
Ooh.
And I have it on my mirror, and every time I'm looking at it, and especially recently, I'm like, yeah, because it is unique to everyone. Everybody has their unique gifts. Everyone has their unique place in the world, the things that they're good at, the things they're not good at. So, don't focus on those. And yeah,
And
I mean,
don't look at it as like I feel like sometimes people look at their gifts as a burden too, or like a flaw. Like, no, you are literally made exactly how God intended you to be made. And that needs to be celebrated, and that needs to be a thing that more people celebrate. Like, and I said it earlier about people saying that I'm very optimistic. I'm like, okay, what is wrong with that? like, can you tell me what's wrong with that? Because I don't see anything wrong with that.
And just that's okay. Well, that's how I am.
Yeah, exactly. I remember I had a friend's mom that was always telling me that my cup, what is the saying? My cup's always half full or something like that. Like I look at life like that.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of, I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, no one taught me that. I just, that's how I am.
Yeah. That's your default.
And yeah, it's my default. Which is funny because I've also been in a season where I prepared for the worst as well. And prepared for the bad. And it was probably my season of like post mom and dad's divorce and just certain things going on, and definitely a response of some sorts. I don't know, people say trauma response or whatever, but it's definitely a thing that I got out of. I still think there's probably a part of me that still does that sometimes just to kind of protect myself. But again, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, you're made exactly how you're supposed to be, and that should be celebrated. Flaws, good, bad, whatever it is. And yeah, everyone has their own gifts that are special to them and you're going to connect with certain people that have certain gifts and bring different perspective. I mean, I constantly am telling Tamara, I'm like, you just bring a different perspective that I literally did never think of. And that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of like not letting gifts stay inside you, like what if he didn't share those things with you? Then you might not even go that route.
Yeah, totally.
So
totally.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to answer some closeout questions?
Sure.
Okay.
Love a good closeout questions.
What's your best self-care tip or advice?
Best self-care tip or advice. Okay, recently I have been setting timers and basically telling myself whatever it may be. Right now in the season that I'm in, it's more of like, hey, I'm going to set a 30-minute timer to clean up this living room or this kitchen or whatever. Because I know that once this is done, even if it's going to be a mess in about 5 minutes, is going to like calm me down for a good while. And so timers have been my thing of like setting a 30-minute timer, I'm going to do this, or setting a 30-minute timer, I'm going to do some prayer journaling or reading or whatever. And just like designating that time. And because sometimes literally in my day, that's all I have is 30 minutes to do it. And that's been a really good one. And then also something that's been helpful in the season that I'm in is meal prepping. It's a very annoying task to do. I don't enjoy it. But at the end of the day, when I'm starving and I look in my fridge and there's something that I can eat, it's really nice. So, yeah.
Devin said that on our last episode, and we've gotten better, but that is literally some advice I really need to take. Like, I need to just start doing it non-negotiable, certain day a week or whatever, and just knock it out, because I end up getting frustrated when I have to, just grab something that I didn't really, want to eat, or that didn't fuel me, properly.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
I would agree.
Okay. What lights you up?
Right now, um, I would say, um, the holiday season with my kids.
Mm.
Um, it is just like so fun. It was fun last year where I was 1.5, but now she's 2.5. Um, but she, like, I I literally said this to Jamar the other day. I'm like, what are we gonna do when when people have to take down their Christmas lights? Because like she sees it from like a mile away. And not only that, but we have a Christmas tree up already. We've had it for a few weeks now. Um, anytime she walks in the front door, she's like, Christmas tree. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna have to take this down like after the new year and I'm gonna break her heart. And she's gonna be like, where is this Christmas tree? She gets so excited. And I need to record her saying, oh my goodness. She gets so excited over just everything. And I should say it's been pretty much like the holiday season. Like she was excited about pumpkins during October and she was excited about the turkey at the Thanksgiving parade. Um so it's just seeing the holidays through their eyes, and
Mm-hmm.
it's always, I mean, I knew it was always going to be that way because seeing the holiday through kids' eyes is just magic in and of itself. But so yeah, that's been my light recently, is just now experiencing it again to a different level. Like she very much like loved all the things last year
Mm-hmm.
at 1.5, but now she's like, oh, like she had her little Christmas PJ party, pancakes, breakfast with Santa the other day at school. And, this Thursday she has her Christmas program. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's just those little things where it's a little bit more obviously now with her being older. Um, and so it's really cool. And I just know that each year, the holidays are going to be filled with magic with these little babies that I continue to have.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, name a great source of joy for you that you've been neglecting lately.
Um, I would say a combo of journaling and reading. Um,
Mm.
Shout out to Chelsea V Coaching for
Yeah.
setting up a book club.
Oh yes, I'm so excited.
Um, gonna send that plug. Um, but that I'm really excited about. I told you I've been wanting to read that book that we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so that is going to be my motivation to get back into reading um this next year, is um starting with that book club, because I think you said it starts the 22nd.
Yep.
um and so yeah, reading and then journaling. I actually was just telling myself that, because I usually journal in the mornings, but I still have a 1-year old that likes to wake up in the middle of the night.
Mm.
And sometimes waking up before them, which is what I would usually do, um, is very tiring and exhausting. So I don't basically have not done that. But I need to just get back in the habit of doing it, even if I am tired, because I know that I'm going to feel a lot better if I journal and start my day with journaling specifically. I've journaled at nighttime as well, but it just doesn't quite hit the same for me as journaling in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Your brain's like fresh in the morning. Um.
Yeah. But Devin, I think it was Devin, or maybe it was my friend Kendall. She had said she does her journaling at night to kind of do like a brain dump for
Yeah.
her.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, well, maybe I could try that, because I mean, truly, my kids, once they are in bed, um, they are asleep for a while. So I'm like, I could do that,
Yeah.
and do a nighttime thing. I actually have a gratitude journal that has a morning and nighttime question box thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I could see about that, especially just to kind of get me back into the routine of journaling. Um, I could try doing a brain dump at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And still include my, nighttime prayers and all of that um in that routine as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say two parts of that, reading and journaling. I've always loved reading. I just actually we talked about this when you were here too, of like I was in school for a long time and so I was not doing personal um not personal development, but reading for pleasure. Is that what we said?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
um yeah, it was really hard for me to read for pleasure during school because you're constantly reading textbooks, and my brain just is not wired to be able to read a textbook and read for pleasure at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that season of my life, and then now being a busy mom and finding the time to um read for pleasure is still kind of hard. um but I was going to implement this as well with trying to get back into reading. I did 75 Hardish a while ago, and their rule is like 10 pages a day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that was surprisingly doable. And also, I was shocked at how fast I was getting through the book.
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, I'm only reading 10 pages a day, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm like getting through this book. Um, so I might start doing that. But definitely signing up for your book club, I'm super excited about, because that is for sure going to get me back into reading. Um, and again, it's a book that I've been wanting to read for a while, but I just
Yeah.
haven't.
I know. I'm pumped. Yeah, this episode will launch the week that we start reading, but it won't be too late to join. And we're going to read Atomic Habits, and I'm super excited about it. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What's something you'd like to see more of in the world today?
Hmm, so much. um, but I would say just like overall kindness and acceptance. I feel like we just are in a society that judges a lot right now and chooses sides. And I I'm just like, why can't we just all be kind people and just love each other and support each other, and still have our opinions, of
Mm-hmm.
course, because that's important. But like, let's just be mindful about it. Like, I just Joy and I talk about that all the time. Like, if we can raise good kind humans, then we're doing a good job.
Yeah, totally.
It's just there's so many people that I feel like don't feel accepted by their family or whatever else in this season, and that I'm just like, oh my gosh, if my kids ever felt that way, I'd be so sad. So um having that kindness, I literally tell Araya every single day, be a good person, be a good friend before she goes to school. um and that to me just makes sense. Like, why wouldn't you want to be a kind person and just
Mm-hmm.
accept people for who they are?
Mm-hmm. Totally. Love it. What's something you have learned recently?
Ooh, okay. This is actually really funny. Um,
Uh-oh, you're breaking up.
I, I just resent this to tomorrow. So, and let me look it up so I don't say this wrong. Um, I literally just sent it to him in chat. So I just want to make sure I'm saying it correct.
Can't wait to
Um,
can't wait to hear about this.
so two parts. He originally
Oh,
told
you're
me.
breaking up a bunch.
He originally he originally told me, and I can you hear me now?
Yeah, maybe it's because you were like connected to Wi-Fi and then you left.
Probably, and I walked past an elevator. Sorry,
Okay.
viewers, I'm trying to get to school drop-off.
Okay, you're coming in clear now.
But we were somewhere. Okay, perfect. We were somewhere, and I asked Jamar, if Dr. Pepper was a Coke product. And he was like, no, Dr. Pepper is its own. And I was like, oh, I don't think I knew that. Well, so then I see this post on Instagram and it says, Dr. Pepper isn't owned by another company. It is its own company, Keurig Dr. Pepper, but they do not have a bottling facility. So that is why when you're in the store and you see a what looks like a Pepsi distributed Dr. Pepper and a Coca-Cola distributed Dr. Pepper, there's a difference because basically it's not like they don't have a bottling facility. So essentially, in whatever area you're in, they use whichever bottling facility gives them the best deal.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. And I was like, what? And so then this example on Instagram showed the differences. And I was like, whoa, that is interesting. And so then basically it was saying that's why sometimes it's Pepsi shaped and sometimes it's Coke shaped. And it was, joking that real lovers of Dr. Pepper recognize the difference in the taste. And so then Jamar and I got on the conversation of like, what one is the better tasting Dr. Pepper? And I both agreed that the one that comes out of a Coke bottle is better than the one that comes out of the Pepsi bottle. But yeah, I didn't realize that. And I want to say we got on the conversation with it because Dr. Pepper's from Texas here. I think we might have the headquarters near us. I can't really remember, but I've seen a Dr. Pepper building by us and on the freeway and stuff. But yeah, that is something I learned recently is that it's its own company. It does not have a bottling facility. And that is why when you're at the store, you may see one that looks like a Pepsi bottle and one that looks like a Coke bottle.
That is so wild because I can see the different bottles in my head.
Yeah.
And I never put two and two together that they were actually different, but they do come different.
No, I'll send you the picture that that is from that post. And yeah, it is really weird. I had no idea. But again, like I said, I knew that it was its own company.
Yeah.
But I did not know because I normally just when I want Dr. Pepper, I get it as a can or at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I didn't even know this. And then, but then I was reminded, like, sometimes Jamar will pick up a Diet Dr. Pepper, like, in the checkout on the way from the grocery store, or in the checkout line on his way out of the grocery store. And it's usually always a Coke bottle. Once you see this picture that I'll send you, it's usually always a Coke one. So yeah, that was something I learned recently is that is two part. Jamar told me that it's its own company, and then that they don't have bottling service. So they basically go to Pepsi and go to Coke, depending on the area, and see whoever's going to give them the best deal.
Wow. That is a good little factoid right there. I love that.
It's funny when you sent me the questions yesterday to give me a heads up of what I would be answering. Yeah. I immediately was like, oh, I'm going to drop this Dr. Pepper knowledge.
Yeah.
So for those who love a Dr. Pepper, like I do, there's some interesting fun facts that I just went ahead and mentioned.
Yeah. Or some good trivia. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, some good trivia. I know. I was like, dang, if I'm ever in a trivia now that involves a Dr. Pepper question, either of those two, I know the answer.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We'll see.
Nice. Awesome.
But yeah,
Well, thank you so much, Farah. This was a lot of fun. I
of
love
course.
just I love getting into this. And just, this time of year, it's just important that we like sit back and we do think about life's gifts and what life has offered us and what is still out there.
Yeah. No, I think this is a good timing for this episode because it's a there's a lot of emotions this time of year.
Mhm.
Um, whether it's you have a something happen during the holidays that you don't um like to really celebrate them, or maybe you have lost a loved one and you're facing your first holiday season without them. Um, or a lot of kids love Christmas because of all the gifts and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
that's obviously not the real meaning of Christmas. But
Mhm.
um yeah, I think this is a good timing of talking about all of this. So
Yeah.
way to go, Chelsea B.
Yeah, girl.
Chelsea B.
All right, cool. Well, as always, I like to thank my lifetime sponsor, my mother. Thank you for making this possible. Um, I also want to thank the listeners because y'all are awesome and give me somebody to talk to, not just the guest that's on, but also whoever wants to listen. Um, if you want more from me, you can check out my website at chelseabcoaching.com and Instagram, Chelsea B Coaching. Facebook is Prioritize You. If you have any feedback or suggestions, please reach out to me. I love hearing it. I love just talking about it, getting, feedback, ideas, what have you. And if you like this episode or the podcast, please like it and share it or comment on it or all the above. It's really a great compliment to me if, you pass it along. If you want to sponsor an episode, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/mywife's unavailable. So yeah, until next time, folks, keep it real and keep it moving and stay healthy out there. Oh, let me get the goodbye jingle going. Almost forgot.
You're still getting back into that
I
routine.
know. Dang it. At least I didn't mess it up this time. Bye bye.